Well, back here in Nigeria, the federal government has re-emphasized its commitment to resolving the security challenges in Benue State. The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, was in the state earlier today, where he promised that the federal government will continue to provide the needed support to avert further attacks. Mayowa Kwato reports.
This visit by the National Security Advisor to the President, Bola Tinubu, is at the instance of recent killing in different parts of Benue State. The meeting focused on enhancing collaboration between federal government and state authorities to address issues such as armed herders attack, banditry, and the displacement of residents.
Chief executives here present.
An avenue, the National Security Advisor also conveyed the President's firm resolve to bring an end to insecurity.
I'm here on the directives of Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He directed that I should come this morning to come and tell you, of course, his greetings.
Traditional leaders representing the three zones in Benue also expressed their pain in words.
I alone, for my local government, I take stock of daily killing, the mass murder. The total population as of 17 April is 598. Simply tell Mr. President, there is a legislation against open grazing, and we have activated that. I want the federal government to accentuate on it.
On the Good Friday, which is was about 4 days ago, Ukum had horrible massacre on Good Friday. We don't want to look at it as coincidences. These are calculated attempts.
Governor Ali acknowledged the visit, staying hopeful.
Sena Ala, Ukum, and local governments. That is the headquarters of yams in the state and in the whole world. Benue counts as #1 producer of yams in the entire world. And that is our headquarters where we have the yams. So if we're talking about food insecurity in the nation, and right home here we're experiencing its shortage, then it means it's not a good omen.
This government is responsible. This government listens. This government will come. This government will identify. It probably will not be able to say in 1 year or 2 years that you will completely stop it. We have done very well. Issue of security is relative. That's why you have seen us in Benue State.
The meeting concluded with both parties agreeing on the necessity of continued collaboration to restore peace and stability in the region. Mayowa Okwato, TVC News, Makodi.
Well, let's bring in the technical advisor to the governor of Benue State on media, publicity and strategic communication, Solomon Yupev. He joins me on the news at 7 via Zoom from Benue. Good to have you join us.
Thank you very much for having me.
So the National Security Advisor visited Benue today in that report that we just took. I mean, how reassuring? He has said that government would do all that it takes to bring that crisis to an end. How reassuring is that for you? Because we've heard a lot of promises. How convinced is the state government?
It is quite reassuring for us here in Benue State, especially that my governor has insisted time and again that the citizens should be law-abiding and not take laws into their hands. And so with that kind of mindset, it's reassuring when the federal government finally pays attention to your cries and pays a visit and gets first-hand information of what is going on. He had given his word, he has given the word of the president, he has given every assurances that there's going to be more enhanced collaboration between the federal and the state governments. We're expecting that there will be more sharing of information between the federal and the state agencies, and all of that is coming to play as we now begin to collaborate more with the office of the NSA and the federal government. So it's quite reassuring to all of us here, especially with the promises he has made that the federal government is going to look deeper, give us more collaboration, send more backup as we need here in the state to take care of the situation. He has also come to realize from what he has been told that this is a deliberate and calculated attempt. It's not just about people coming to struggle we're fighting over your crop, your herds ate my crop. this is a deliberate effort to frustrate the people and push them out of their lands. Is a calculative attempt. If that was not the case, the efforts that His Excellency the Governor has made would have been enough and sufficient to take care of the insecurity here in Benue State. Imagine buying 600 motorbikes.
Mr. Yupev, if I may comment, because I know you want to start highlighting some of the things that the governor has done, but there are those who believe that in between this visit by the NSA and the governor asking residents not to take matters into their hands, that he hasn't really done much to fill in the gap of security as the chief security officer of that state.
I don't know what you mean by that when you say he hasn't done enough to do that. Everybody who talks about insecurity in states makes reference to security votes that have been given to a state governor and how he or she is not doing well enough. But look at the situation where a governor has bought over 600 motorbikes and sent officers who have been sent to the state to the hinterlands. Look at a situation where the governor has bought about 100 Hilux trucks and given to security agencies across the 23 local government areas of the state to help fight insecurity. Look at a situation where the governor has launched what is referred to as Operation Anyamnyo, a collaboration of all the security operatives in the state. You're talking about the civil defense, you're talking of the army, the navy, and every other force that is in the state. That's a collaboration for them to work together. Look at a situation where the state governor has launched what is called the Benue Civil Protection Guard in the state. So what else do you expect someone to do? There's so much being done. Already he has launched several apparatus. I mean, you're talking about meetings with stakeholders and seeing how they can solve these issues on every front. So when you say the governor is not doing enough, that sounds more political to me than what is really on the ground. And we have said time and again, we don't play politics with people's lives. You talk about the things you're seeing on the ground. And the man is making every effort possible for a governor to make. So except if there are other suggestions that the governor should make that he has not made, apart from those things I've mentioned here, maybe they can bring it up.
All right, Mr. Yupev, let's talk about solutions, because not just residents. I mean, residents of Benue are the ones living out these attacks and this crisis. But Nigerians are also really tired of waking up every morning to one story of attacks in one state or the other. What has been done? I mean, now that the NSA has visited, how sure are we and Benue residents, what promise are you making them that this is going to be nipped in the bud and it is going to become it's not a recurring story, but a thing of the past?
Like I say time again and again, security is very dicey. Security, there is nowhere in the world where you have absolute peace. So things happen every now and then to destabilize people. But the assurances the governor is given time and again is that everything is being done possible for him. But now, as I told you, there have been more deployment of military officers, police officers to these areas where those flashpoints where you have these attacks here and there. So we have security operatives being beefed up in those areas. We're digging to the root causes of these problems so that we can nip them in the bud, as you have said. So with the collaboration now between the state and the federal government, we're hoping that by the mercies of God, things are going to get absolutely much better. And my governor is not sleeping. Now that the federal government has stepped in, and we have said time and again, this is not a fight for the state alone. These attacks are happening across the federal government, across the country. So the federal government needs to step in to collaborate with states. And so we're also saying that now that with the visit of the NSA is a promise that the federal government is not going to leave the state alone. It's going to add more value to what we're doing to make sure that things don't happen. These are our people. It hurts us that people are dying in our state.
We will see how it plays out. I mean, I'm sure we'll have this conversation with you over and over again. Thank you so much for your time, as always. A technical advisor to the Benue State Governor on media, publicity, and strategic communications, Solomon Yupev.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, still ahead on TVC News at 7, Inspector General of Police reorganizes police mobile force as part of efforts to strengthen internal security. Now, stay with TVC News for details of this and more after the break.